Yeah, I mean, they did exactly what they needed to do, right? Every team goes through this, a period where you're slumping, your things aren't going well, and you really need to show your resiliency, how you bounce back, and they did that. They all played great this week. They got a huge win over Empire, which, it was a very good series, and I was kind of surprised that they played that well, especially Scump and Dashy. But
Mhm.
this is what they needed. I think now they're going to be on that upward trend again. They got through the rough patch, and who knows, maybe they'll get a first major win.
I want to commend them because I feel like their rough patch was super short. When that happens,
It
usually it
was.
takes a little bit more time. But I mean, we can look back at it now and say that was just a bad couple days. That's all that was.
Mhm.
Right.
And they're back to being the optic that we know and love, right? They 3-0'd a Surge team that was on the way up, beat Dallas. They took care of business, did what they needed to do, and they looked good doing it, right? That team is so full of talent, like Ian was talking about last week, right? And it looked like they came together during the week and worked on their teamwork, which is the most important aspect of the game now, especially with all the teams in the league having so much talent. OpTic being back on the same page, at least what it looks like for the time being, super important.
And you mentioned Pacman Scump, right? Having a great performance, especially against Dallas. And, maybe you can make the argument that they're trying a little bit harder because it's Dallas, but he played really well. And something that he actually tweeted after those series, I'd like to talk about. He said, and I quote, "I thought I lost my mojo." When you guys look at a quote like that from someone like Scump, do you ever feel like there was a point for you, and Pacman, I'll start with you, when you felt kind of like, you were at that ending stage as a player?
Honestly, not really as a player. I think the only time I ever felt like that was actually Advanced Warfare, where I would go into tournaments like, yeah, we're going to get bodied. Like, that's the only time where I felt I didn't feel confident in myself and my team and whatever it was. That it was, and it's not a great feeling. And for someone like Scump, who's comparing my career and Scump's career, it's not even close. Like, he's a legend of the game, top tier SMG player. When he says something like that, it's got to be like he doesn't feel like he's the best sub in the world anymore. He doesn't feel like he's that guy anymore with all these new crack kids sliding around. And it probably felt good to like just remind himself that, I'm Scump. You know what I mean? Like, I'm that guy still. And usually,
I'm the king.
yeah, I'm the king,
I'm the
right?
king.
Usually, like for me, I don't know how it was for you, and I can't speak on the end, but usually it's like you're not in a position where you feel comfortable with the team you're going to be on. You don't want to regress too far. You don't want to go play back in challenger scene or the AM scene anymore. You don't want to try to climb this ladder that you already climbed before and start all the way at the bottom. That's usually what makes you stop, at least for me. And I don't think Scump's going through that. Obviously, he's part of OpTic, but just that mental hurdle to get over is really tough. So I'm happy for him.
I think it's for me. I definitely felt like that at a certain point, especially in what was it, Modern Warfare. But it's like when you compete for such a long time, it gets very repetitive. It can become stale. And my situation was kind of like how John explained, where I wasn't comfortable on the team I was on. I didn't want to go through challengers and try to reprove myself. And other opportunities came up, and it was just something new to try. For Seth, he doesn't have to worry about going back to challengers. But yeah, he's one of the greatest Call of Duty players of all time. And I think for him, with the "I lost my mojo, like I thought I lost it," he has so much going for him, right? He's been an original content creator in the scene. He's the biggest Call of Duty player in the league. But so he doesn't necessarily have to compete. And he has been doing it for longer than damn near anyone else, especially playing at the top level. So I think it's just like he brought it up before of like, maybe I'm gonna retire. Like, maybe he just doesn't want to deal with the stress of competing when he can be successful doing a bunch of other things. He's already made his career, his legacy. He has enough money to kind of do whatever he wants. But so I think for him, it just comes down to him having fun and wanting to get on every day and not feeling like it's a job where he can't have fun. But he said that a couple times. So it definitely feels good to see him kind of get his mojo back, because you don't ever want to see a player like him retire, even though he's been doing it for a long time now.